Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever set a goal, felt a surge of motivation for a day or two, and then watched that excitement disappear like it never happened? You're not the only one. Most people set goals the same way they buy lottery tickets, full of hope, but without a real plan. They might jot the goal down once, maybe even say it out loud, and then sit back wondering why nothing changes. But here's the reality. Goals don't work just because you hope they will. They work when you apply structure, purpose, and discipline. Now, I'm not here to give you feel-good fluff. I'm here to share a practical method, a formula that actually delivers results if you commit to it. Because goal setting isn't about magic or motivational posters. It's about transforming vague aspirations into clear, actionable targets and becoming the person capable of achieving them. If you're tired of starting strong but never finishing, if you're over goals that sound nice but lead nowhere, then this message is for you. Over the next few minutes, I'll walk you through a step-by-step process that transforms wishful thinking into concrete outcomes. This is how to set goals that work, not eventually, but starting now. Let's begin with the foundation, a powerful why. If you want goals that stick, goals that keep pulling you forward even when things get tough, it starts here. A strong why fuels everything. Let me explain something crucial. Reasons come first. Solutions come later. You don't need to know every step at the beginning. You don't need a flawless plan. What you do need, desperately, is a compelling reason. A reason strong enough to pull you out of bed when you'd rather stay under the covers. A reason clear enough to drown out the noise of excuses. A reason so meaningful that even fear takes a step back. That's the power of a solid why. Here's an example. Someone says, I want to lose weight. I ask why. They reply, because I want to look better. That's okay, but it's not strong enough. It won't stop you from reaching for dessert at midnight. It won't push you out the door for a walk when it's raining. Now let's take another example. Someone else says, I want to lose weight because last week my daughter looked me in the eyes and said, Mom, I don't want you to die young. That's a reason. That's not just a goal, it's a mission, a calling. That's powerful. And understand this, reasons will always last longer than motivation because motivation fades. Reasons stay with you. If your why is weak, your effort will reflect that weakness. But when your why is powerful, your path begins to reveal itself naturally. People don't burn out from working hard. They burn out from working on things that don't truly matter to them. So here's what I want you to do right now. Pause and reflect. Ask yourself, why do I want this goal? What's truly at stake? Is it freedom? Is it respect? Is it about proving something to yourself or building something your children can be proud of? Whatever the reason, find it, write it down, say it out loud, make it emotional, make it real, make it yours. Because when your why is strong enough, the how begins to appear. Doors open, the right people enter your life, the energy shows up. But if your why is shallow, every excuse will feel valid. That's why you shouldn't just set goals, set reasons. Don't just write a list, write a legacy. Real goal setting doesn't begin on paper, it begins in your heart. So here's your challenge. Don't move on until you've written down 5 meaningful reasons why your goal matters. Don't accept the easy answers, dig deep. The deeper your reason, the stronger your commitment, and the higher you can rise. That's where goals that truly work begin. Now that we've identified why, it's time to get clear on what. Because one of life's simple truths is this. If you don't know where you're going, you'll likely end up somewhere else. And that somewhere is rarely where you wanted to be. Most people don't fail because they aim too high and miss. They fail because they aim too low and hit. Worse still, some never aim at all. Let this sink in. You cannot hit a target you can't see. You can't reach a goal that hasn't been clearly defined. A dream without a plan is just a wish. A goal without clarity is just noise. You need to be specific. Don't say, I want to get fit. Say, I want to lose 10 pounds by June 30th. Don't say, I want more money. Say, I want to earn $5,000, 0 cents per month from freelance work by December. Don't say, I want to grow. Say, I want to read 12 personal development books this year. When your goal is vague, your action will be too. But when your goal is clear, your brain clicks into gear. Your subconscious starts solving problems. Ideas begin to flow. Resources align. Momentum builds. But there's a risk. If you don't define your goal, life will do it for you. And when life defines your path, it tends to give you a role rather than letting you write your own story. Think about it. Have you ever been busy all day and still felt like you accomplished nothing that really mattered? That's what drifting looks like. You move, but there's no real progress. Why? Because you're reacting instead of directing. It's like sailing without a compass. Wherever the wind blows, that's where you end up. But you are not the sail, you are the captain. And a captain needs a chart, a direction, and a destination. So here's your next task. Choose one goal, just one, and define it with absolute clarity. Make it specific, make it measurable, attach a deadline, connect it emotionally to your why, write it down, read it aloud. Then ask yourself, would I recognize this goal if it came true? If not, go back and clarify it. Don't be vague, don't say soon. A quick reminder, someday isn't a real date. Put your goal on paper, put it on your wall, and most importantly, put it in your mind every single day, because if you define it, you can design it. But if you don't define it, you'll drift. And drifting never leads to meaningful success. So get clear, get focused, and move forward with a goal you can see, measure, and pursue with purpose. Now that you know what you want, let's talk about how to lock it in. Write it down. Lock it in. This is where it all begins. Listen closely. What you don't write down, you're likely to forget. And what you forget, you're unlikely to achieve. One of the simplest and most effective habits I ever adopted for success is this: write it down. Not typing it, not just speaking it, write it by hand on actual paper with intent. Why does this matter? Because writing activates your brain in a different way. It transforms thoughts into something tangible. It takes an abstract idea and gives it form. Thinking about your goals is one thing, but seeing them written in your own handwriting, that makes them real. It makes them personal. Writing locks your intention in place. I used to carry a small goals card, just a folded index card in my pocket. On it were my top 5 goals. I looked at that card every morning, every night, and often throughout the day. Why? Because repetition shapes the brain. You become what you consistently think about. When you write your goals down, review them, and speak them, you're keeping them front of mind. And the mind is a goal-seeking machine. Once it knows what to look for, it starts to find it. Some people say, I don't need to write it down. I've got it in my head. But here's the truth. If it's only in your head, it's still a dream. When it's on paper, it becomes a commitment. If I walked into your home or workspace right now, would I see your goals posted somewhere? Would they be in a notebook, on a wall, in a journal? Because if they're not visible, I can already tell you what's missing. Focus. A written goal provides clarity. Clarity creates urgency, and urgency drives action. So here's what I want you to do. Not later, not tomorrow, right now. Grab a journal, a notebook, or even a sticky note. At the top of the page, write my top 5 goals right now. Then list them out, write them as if they're already in motion. Be clear, be bold, be honest with yourself. Once they're written, don't tuck them away. Put them somewhere visible, on your wall, mirror, desk, fridge, or wallet, anywhere you'll see them often. Because when you see your goals, you remember your goals. And when you remember them, you start moving toward them. Writing your goals isn't, so take this simple but powerful step. When you write it down, you lock it in. And once it's locked in, it's only a matter of time before momentum builds. Break it down to build it up. Now that your goal is clear and written down, it's time to do something that most people skip. Break it down. Let me be direct. Big goals can feel overwhelming. They can stop you in your tracks. You start thinking, where do I even begin? That's the key. Begin small. Don't let the size of your goal intimidate you. Let the size of your daily action inspire you. One principle I've always followed is this: every mountain is climbed one step at a time. No one starts at the base and magically appears at the summit. There are curves, rests, and pauses, but most importantly, there are steps taken one by one with purpose. The same applies to your goal. Let's say you want to save $10,000, 0 cents. Don't just stare at the full amount. Break it down. That's $833, 0 cents per month. That's $28, 0 cents a day. And now your brain can actually process that. It's tangible, it's measurable, it's something you can act on right away. If your goal is to write a book, don't let the idea of 200 pages overwhelm you. Break it down. That's 5 pages a day for 40 days, or just 1 chapter per week. Suddenly the goal feels less intimidating. It feels achievable. Chunk it, slice it, schedule it. That's the strategy. The way to reach a big dream isn't by taking one massive leap. It's by taking a series of intentional, consistent steps forward. Each step builds momentum. Each action strengthens belief. With every move, you get closer to the outcome you want. Let me ask you this. If you dedicated just 1 hour a day to your dream, where would you be in 6 months? I'll tell you where. Much further than most people get in a lifetime. Because the real key isn't speed, it's consistency. Daily effort, compounded over time, leads to extraordinary results. So here's your assignment. Take your main goal and divide it into 4 major milestones. That becomes your quarterly game plan. Then break each milestone into monthly steps. From there, break those down into weekly actions. Now your calendar becomes your scoreboard. Each week, you'll know exactly what to do. No confusion, no guessing, no drifting. And here's the reward. Each time you check off a task, you build confidence. You create progress. And progress, even in small amounts, is incredibly motivating. That's why today matters. So don't let the size of your dream intimidate you. Let the structure of your plan empower you. Break it down and build it up, step by step, goal by goal, win by win. That's how big things get done. Now, let's shift to something just as important as planning, habits. These are the systems that will support your progress every single day. Align your habits with your goals. Here's a truth that can completely shift your mindset. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. Goals define the destination. Habits provide the vehicle to get there. You can dream all you want. You can visualize, make lists, even build vision boards. But if your daily habits don't match your goals, progress will stall. It's like saying you want to travel to New York, but driving west toward Los Angeles every day. You can't live like one person and expect to become someone entirely different. This is where most people go wrong. They set massive goals, then return to small, unproductive habits. They stay stuck in familiar routines, comfort zones, and old behaviors, then wonder why nothing changes. But here's the truth. For your life to change, you must change. For your results to improve, you must improve. That's the mindset I learned from my mentor. It's what I've applied personally, and now I'm sharing it with you. So how do you align your habits with your goals? Step 1, identify the habits your goal demands. If your goal is fitness, your habits must reflect health, consistent exercise, meal planning, proper sleep, hydration, not late night snacks, and skipped workouts. If your goal is financial independence, your habits need to reflect discipline. Track your spending, save regularly, invest smartly, and keep learning. Step 2, make those habits non-negotiable. Not if I feel like it or when I have time. Make them part of your identity. If your goals are significant, your discipline needs to be stronger than your excuses. Step 3, replace the habits that no longer serve you. You can't layer good habits on top of bad ones. You got to trade them out. Remove what's holding you back to make space for what moves you forward. Trade scrolling for reading. Trade gossip for mentorship. Trade complaints for gratitude. Because here's the truth. Every habit is a vote for the person you are becoming. So if your habits don't match your goals, you have 2 choices. Change your habits or forget your goals. It's that simple. And yes, it's that serious. But don't think you need to change your entire life overnight. You don't. Start small. 1 shift, 1 upgrade, 1 discipline choice at a time. Because when your habits align with your vision, you create momentum. And momentum builds confidence. And confidence makes you unstoppable. Here's your assignment. Write down 3 daily habits that support your current goal. Then write down 1 habit that's holding you back. And replace that habit with something better. Start tomorrow morning. Start small, but start. Because habits shape your future. They whisper in your day-to-day life, but they shout in your results. If you want a new life, begin with a new habit. Now let's tap into a secret weapon used by the world's most successful people, visualization. Here's something most people don't realize. You'll never hold a dream in your hand until you can first see it clearly in your mind. You want to build the life you imagine? First, you must imagine that life in detail. The best athletes, creators, entrepreneurs, they all use visualization. It's not fantasy. It's not fluff. It's focused mental rehearsal. It's walking through your win before it happens. Here's why it works. Your brain doesn't fully distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. So when you visualize success consistently, your mind begins to believe it's possible. It starts preparing you for it, and your actions begin to align with that belief. You can't live a life you haven't mentally walked through. You can't become someone you haven't first pictured yourself as. If you want to speak on stage, start seeing it. Your confident entrance, your clear voice, your message landing with impact. If you want a promotion, see it. How you lead, how you add value, how you're recognized. If you want to build a business, visualize it. The logo, the clients, the momentum, the results. Feel it, hear it, believe it before you achieve it. And no, it doesn't take hours, just a few focused minutes each day. Here's how to do it. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, see your goal as already done. How does it look? How does it feel? Who's around you? What are they saying? Anchor that feeling in your body. Smile, nod, own it. Then open your eyes and carry that energy with you into the day. This isn't about pretending. This is about preparing. Because once your mind is ready, your discipline follows, your energy follows, and the opportunities begin to show up. So here's your challenge. Take 5 minutes today, just 5, and visualize your top goal as if it's already real. Do it again tomorrow, then again the next day. Do it until you believe it, then keep doing it until you live it. Now that you can see it clearly in your mind, it's time to give it a deadline, even if it scares you. A goal without a deadline is just a wish. You can write it down, you can visualize it, you can talk about it over coffee for years, but until you attach a timeline, it holds no urgency, no pressure, no power, it just floats. Now I get it, some people say, I don't like deadlines, they stress me out, but let me remind you, growth isn't always comfortable, but it is always necessary. Deadlines don't exist to punish you, they exist to focus you. A deadline tells your brain, it shifts your mindset from one day to day one. It forces movement. You stop waiting for the perfect time and start making progress with the time you've got. You see, the problem with most people isn't that their goals are too big, it's that their timelines are too vague. No structure, no date, no accountability. And let me tell you, someday is the enemy of achievement. So what's the solution? Set the deadline, even if it scares you. If you want to launch that project, choose a date. If you want to save a specific amount, put it on the calendar. If you want to make a move, build a habit or change your life, draw the finish line. Why? Because deadlines create momentum, and momentum beats motivation every time. Here's the truth. Your deadline doesn't have to be perfect. You can adjust your plan as you go, but don't keep pushing the date just because fear showed up. Pressure builds discipline, and discipline builds results. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how productive you get the night before something is due? That's the power of a deadline. It narrows your focus, filters distractions, and forces decisions. So here's what I want you to do right now. Take your top goal and give it a deadline. Not a vague one, a specific one. By July 1st, within 90 days. By the end of the quarter. Then break it down further. What will be done by the end of this month? What can be completed this week? What will you do today that moves you forward? Because the longer a goal lives without a deadline, the less likely it is to survive. And don't set a deadline just to look ambitious. Set one to start living intentionally. And here's one more gem. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. So yes, deadlines can be uncomfortable, but they are far less painful than a life of what if. Set the date, circle it, commit to it. And when fear shows up, good. That means you're serious. Now let's keep going. Because once you've got a deadline, you need a way to measure your progress. And here's the rule. Track it or trash it. Let me say it plainly. What you track, you improve. What you don't, you forget. You lose sight. You get sloppy. Eventually, you abandon it. If you've taken the time to define your goal, write it down, break it down, and set a deadline, now it's time to track it. Because if you're not measuring it, you're not pursuing it. You're just hoping for it. Now, don't get me wrong. Hope is powerful, but hope is not a strategy. And you know what creates regret? Losing track of what mattered, not realizing how far you've drifted until it's too late. But when you track your progress, you shine a light on your path. You know where you are, you know what's working, you know what needs to change. That's when things start to shift. That's when things get exciting, because small wins tracked consistently build massive momentum. So how do you track it? It doesn't have to be complicated. Use a simple weekly review sheet. Ask yourself, what did I do? What didn't I do? What needs improvement? Use a habit tracker. Even a sticky note, a whiteboard, or a checklist will do. Use a journal. Write one sentence a day about how your goal is progressing, just one sentence. Then share it with a friend, a mentor, a coach, or a community, someone who will ask, how's it going? Because when you know someone's watching, you show up different. You bring more effort, more focus, more follow through. That's the power of visibility. Now understand this. Tracking is not about perfection. It's not about guilt. It's not about beating yourself up when you fall short. It's about staying aware, staying engaged, because life gets busy. Distractions multiply. If you don't keep score, the game slips away. Progress that isn't measured gets lost in the noise of everyday life. So here's your move. Choose a tracking system today. Keep it simple, daily, and visible. Maybe it's a written schedule, maybe a weekly check-in. Just 10 minutes, just you and your goals. Reflect, celebrate your wins, no matter how small, because momentum doesn't come from perfection, it comes from progress. And when something's not working, great, now you know, now you can adjust. But if you're not tracking, you'll keep repeating the same mistakes in the dark. Remember, you don't need a fancy system, you need a consistent one. It could be a notebook, a whiteboard, a Google Sheet, an app on your phone, even tally marks on your fridge. Just make sure it's visible and updated daily or weekly, because if you can measure it, you can manage it. And if you can manage it, you can master it. Now that you've got your scoreboard, it's time to add the final layer, accountability. And let me give it to you straight. Get accountability or get lost. If no one knows what you're trying to do, it's easy to do nothing. If no one's watching, if no one's asking, if no one's expecting, you'll let yourself off the hook. Not because you're lazy, not because you're weak, but because you're human. That's why one of the most powerful success tools on the planet isn't a new planner or a fancy app. It's accountability. We do more for others than we often do for ourselves. You know it's true. You show up to work because someone's counting on you. You keep appointments because someone else is involved. But when it comes to your goals, your dreams, you delay, you skip, you say tomorrow. Why? Because there's no pressure, no consequence. No one's checking. That's where accountability steps in. It turns private intentions into public declarations. And that, my friend, changes the game. Now hear this. Accountability isn't about punishment. It's about partnership. It's not someone breathing down your neck. It's someone standing beside you saying, I see where you're going and I'm not letting you stop. So how do you do it? Tell someone your goal, not just anyone, someone you respect. When they know, you show up different. Schedule regular check-ins. Weekly is best. A quick text or short call. Did you do what you said you would? Join a group, challenge, or community. When you're part of something bigger than yourself, you rise to the level of the team. Hire a coach or mentor. Sometimes the best investment is someone who simply won't let you settle for less than your best. Now here's the most important part. Don't wait until you feel ready to share your goal. Share it to help yourself become ready, because there's power in the promise, there's pressure in the process. And that pressure, it sharpens you, strengthens you. It pushes you when you want to pause. It keeps you honest when it's easier to hide. Because here's the reality. Without accountability, it's easy to drift. With accountability, it's hard to quit. So here's your assignment. Choose one person you can trust and tell them your goal. Set a weekly check-in and ask them to call you out when you're slacking and cheer you on when you're winning. Then return the favor. Be someone else's accountability partner too, because when we lift each other, we both rise. You've come this far. Don't go quiet now. Let's keep going. Because even with accountability, you will face obstacles, plans will fall apart, schedules will shift. Adjust, don't abandon. Now, let me tell you something real, something most people won't admit. Your first plan probably won't work perfectly. I said it, and that's okay. Success isn't about having a perfect plan. It's about having the flexibility to adjust and the courage to continue. Life throws curveballs. Distractions pop up, resources run low, timing gets messy. You hit walls you didn't see coming. So what do most people do? They give up. They say, maybe it wasn't meant to be. They say, I tried. But here's what I say. Don't confuse a detour with a dead end. You can adjust the strategy without abandoning the goal. You can change the route without changing the destination. Every worthwhile goal requires you to course correct. It's part of the process. Is off course about 90% of the time, but it adjusts again and again. Tiny changes, constant corrections until it arrives exactly where it was headed. That's how goals work. Don't quit because it got hard. Don't walk away because it didn't go exactly as planned. Success is not a straight line. It's a messy journey. So here's what you do when things go sideways. Review the goal. Is it still what you want? Does it still matter? If yes, keep going. Assess what's working and what's not. Be honest. Where are the gaps? What needs a tweak? Update your plan, not your dream. Revise the schedule, rethink the steps, rebuild the approach, but hold on to the vision. This is where most people give up, not because they weren't capable, but because they thought it had to be perfect from the start. Let me give you this. The ones who succeed aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who rise, reassess, and restart again and again. So here's your assignment. Take 15 minutes this week to review your progress. Identify one thing you need to change and then change it. Adaptation is not failure, it's wisdom. It means you're paying attention. It means you're still in the game. Winners don't quit, they adjust. So adjust, learn, pivot, but keep moving. Because the only thing worse than a broken plan is a buried dream. Now we've reached the end of this journey, but it's just the beginning. You become the person your goals require. And here we are. You've made it through the process. You've learned how to dream with clarity. You've discovered the steps to set goals that actually work. But let me tell you the most important truth of all. Success is not something you pursue. It's something you attract by the person you become. Your goals, they're not just about achieving things. They're about becoming someone. And the version of you who gets the goal is not the same version who started it. That's the real journey. That's the hidden reward. Not just the promotion, but the confidence it took to ask for it. Not just the income goal, but the discipline it took to earn it. Not just the book written, but the identity shift from dreamer to doer. Because the true purpose of goal setting isn't just achievement, it's transformation. Let me remind you, set the kind of goals that make you better just by working on them. The kind that pull the best out of you. The kind that demand your focus, your growth, your patience, your leadership, because the greatest reward isn't what you get, it's who you become. So now the question isn't just what do you want? The real question is, are you willing to become the person your goals require? If the answer is yes, then keep going, keep learning, keep refining your character, your habits, your thinking. Let your goals stretch you, mold you, challenge you. Let them shape your attitude. Let them sharpen your discipline. Let them deepen your purpose, because you'll never outgrow the need for growth, and your best future is waiting for you on the other side of your daily actions. So what do you do now? You go back to chapter 1. You revisit your why. You recommit to your direction. You refine your plan. You keep tracking. You keep adjusting. You keep showing up day by day, step by step, because that's what successful people do. They don't wish, they work. They don't hope, they become the change. And so can you. So the next time you think of giving up, remember what you've built. Remember why you started. And most of all, remember who you're becoming. Don't ask for it to be easier. Ask to be better. Don't wish for fewer problems. Wish for more skills. Don't wait for opportunity. Build your capacity. This is how you build a life by design, not by default. Now go set goals that actually work, because you're becoming someone who actually follows through. And that, my friend, is what separates the few from the many. You've got this. Now go and earn it.